So all I did was turn it on and then turn it to smoke. You see what's right here. And then what we're doing is you'll see it starting to start up. You start it with the lid open. You'll see the pellets are starting to smoke. And once we get to this point of this rolling like this, we're good to go ahead and close the lid because combustion has occurred. If you don't do that, you run the risk of it exploding, and you don't want to do that. And then I'm gonna set mine to 225 for these pork butts. I've got 2 of them. They're 8.5 pounds each, and I'm gonna let them roll all night. And I've got 2 different probes. I'll take you inside and show you how I probe them. Okay, we're back inside. We're letting our pork butt heat up. It's going to 225. That can take, I don't know, half an hour at least. So these are our 2 pork butts. They're right at 8.5 pounds, 9 pounds each. You'll see the one on the right is a little larger than the one on the left. I've got 2 different meter probes here. This is from a company called AR Meter. It's a less expensive version. This is called the Meter. I like this one better, but since I'm using both, this company sent me one and I'm gonna try it. So both of them have, this one has a porcelain temperature gauge. This one takes a battery, two AAAs. And anyways, it just goes in and it uses Bluetooth. So you have to keep both of these. Both of these are receivers. So you keep the little receivers close to it into the meat probe. You'll see there's another AAA there, and it lets you know, and it lasts a really long time. Plus, whenever you put this back in the docking station, it works to recharge it. So all you do is you just take it out, and you're gonna stick it into the fatty part of the pork butt. You couldn't really see that. That one went right there. And then on this one, I'm gonna spin this around so you can actually see it. This one I like it because all you have to do is just kind of push your finger through, sink it. You'll see the little blue light comes up. And this one has a number gauge. You can actually have multiple ones. I like that about that one. We're just going into the thickest part of it. Now that one hit the bone right there. So I think I'm gonna come in at an angle like that right there. All right, so that's in there. We're gonna let those go. Once it gets up to temp, again, I'm gonna let them go to 205. I don't wrap mine. If you choose to wrap it, you can go up to 165 and then wrap. An all-purpose barbecue rub. This is one right here from Jim and Nick's. I'm going to give this one to you. It's got some stuff left over. Feel free to use that one on there. There's a good bit of that one left in there, but I've got plenty of this. They sent this one to me, and it needs to be used anyways. All right, here I am connecting to the different meter probes and setting up the different cooks. So you'll see that I've got my meter probe. That was the first one I showed you. And I'm literally just setting it up, and it's gonna read my internal temp, my target temp of 203, and then my ambient temp. Here's the other probe, pretty simple. I ended up going back and goofing it up. Anyways, I had to add it, and you'll see it. So it's there. I'm just making the selections, and then I can just go back, and you'll see I have to turn the dial up there on well done. It doesn't have like the pork butt setting like the other one, so it's okay. It's just a little bit different knowing how each one is set up. So just got to get used to them. Okay, it's been going about half an hour. The ambient air temperature right now is 32 degrees. So there's no shroud over top of this. So even though I want it to be at 225, it's right at 200. So if I'm gonna go ahead and bump it up to 250, that'll help with that temperature swing for tonight. And you'll see that it's pretty much in line with what my probe is reading. So both of those are clean. It says it's reading right at 200. All right, so the smoke's rolling out of there. Let's get this flipped around so you can see me. Well, I can go ahead and just show you here. So again, we got these probes on here. I'm just gonna lay these kind of offset to this center section. That's where your auger is, right in the middle. So I'm gonna go one to the left, one to the right. If I was just doing one, I may get a nice thicker bark, but honestly, I think it's going to be okay. Like I said, these are pretty big. You'll see if I was to lay this in here, it's not going to take up the whole thing, but it is going to give up a good amount. Let me get them in here set, and then I'll come back again. Okay, so this is how I decided to do it, kind of offset, kind of at an angle. You'll see both of my probes are towards the middle. I'd rather them get hot and tell me there's a problem and wake me up in the middle of the night than I would then be on the outside, on the cooler side, and this side get burned. So anyways, we're gonna let them roll. I'm not gonna wrap them, I'm not gonna spritz them, I'm not gonna do anything. They're just gonna roll all night, all right? So we'll check on it in the morning. Oh, so one thing I forgot to tell you was your little sensors need to be pretty close by to this, as well as your phone. So I'm sleeping just like right there, so it's in range to be able to activate. If you were to go really far away, different meters will give you different ranges. Some are like 100 feet, some are like 150 feet. Just play around with it and see what you need. Okay, it's about 5:45. We'll see the temperature is only about 10 degrees off. You'll see how many pellets have been used and how they reacted. Internal on this was sitting around, right around 170, 180 if I'm not mistaken. It's 30 degrees outside. We're gonna check these out. So we've been rolling all night. Don't have the same bark that I normally am used to seeing. So 175, 70, 78. The bigger one. It's not the bone. It's going to the fat part. They're consistently about the same. It's pretty crazy. The juice running out of there. So these will be good and juicy. This is the reason why I don't wrap it, because I want more of the bark to show up. So we're going to let this continue to cook until it's got about an hour, 2 hours remaining. We'll go from there. All right, here is the final bark at right around 200, 203, right before we pulled it off and wrapped it. Here is a quick version of me doing a wrap. I double layer it, and all I do is just wrap it as if I'm wrapping a Christmas present. I put it in the cooler over towels, keep it warm at least 2 hours. I actually end up keeping it for like 4, so no video of me actually separating it, but I just used my hands.